What's the toughest thing you've ever been through? Hey, I'm Jared with Untold Ministries, and I've wrestled with this question in my heart. Has anything bad ever happened to me? After lots of prayer and the whirlwind of information and unanswered questions in our hearts surrounding those first 72 hours after my wife's water broke, we had some visitors in the hospital. One of the elders from church and his wife stopped by. Jen, my wife, and I kind of just went through the story of what had happened and what the experts were saying and what we could expect, and just kind of brought him up to speed with where our little Thaddeus was at. And we were still trying to wrap our head around that concept of micro-premie. Side note, did you know that there is a size of diaper that they don't sell in the stores? It is so small. Cute, really, I guess. But I guess it doesn't have to be very big to fit over the rear end that hasn't fully developed butt cheeks yet. So anyways, as Jen and I were talking to the elder and his wife, I kept noticing him shooting this glance at his wife. And after one such glance, finally I stopped and asked, what is it? And he looked at his wife with a smirk on his face and then looked back at me and said, I can't believe how calm you both are. It's true. I hadn't even noticed it, but he was right. There we were, hanging out in my wife's postpartum room after having a baby at 24 weeks and all that had happened in that previous 72 hours. And yet we were at peace. In the midst of our circumstance, we felt this indescribable peace that passes all understanding. We were in a place of complete surrender. We knew that there was nothing we could do about our situation. There was nothing we could do for our sweet little Thaddeus beyond praying. And we did a lot of praying. Over the next few weeks, with Thaddeus in the hospital, and dividing my time between him and visiting him and then coming home and spending time with our 2-year-old, this thought kept creeping into my mind about how bad this felt. There was a lot of stress dealing with the unknown. We knew God was in control, but we still had questions that could only be answered in time. And there was the stress of answering the questions from friends and family members too. Sometimes the same ones over and over and over again. Had to have some patience there, but you'll get that in tough times. You'll get people who are trying to mentally process what you're going through by telling you stories of tough times that they've been through as well. And though well-intending, they don't always empathize well. And sometimes they just tell you about the worst things that's ever happened to them. And Jen and I had to learn to be patient and just bite our tongue sometimes and let them talk. There's a lot of pain in this world. A lot of pain. And there's a lot that we don't understand. There's a lot of unplanned situations that just put us into a tailspin. But I kept having this nagging thought. Has anything bad really happened to me? I mean, really. As I reflect on all the tough things I've been through in my life, I also notice what I've learned and how it's changed me to be who I am. And I can't help but feel sorrow for the times that I've joined others in that race to the bottom in conversations about the worst that life has thrown at us here on this planet. But if it's helped shape who I am, and if God is in control, then could anything that happens to me really be bad? I don't know. Thanks for watching and sharing in this journey with me. In these videos, I'll hit some of the highlights and the lowlights of our experiences in the NICU and our experiences with our good God in this series called Thoughts on Thaddeus. But in the meantime, take a minute and a deep breath and ask yourself this. If you're going through a tough time, how can you extend grace to others who've also been through tough times of their own?